Hello and welcome to another update video about Coti. A price target from my last video was reached. We talked about it end of January. It's been around 20 days, maybe a little bit more. We are finally there. So in that video, what we talked about was Coti when it was actually moving up here. People were getting bullish. We talked about that Coti was approaching here several resistance levels, the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average. And there was also the 20-day moving average somewhere meshed around here. All these three here were there, and we were seeing already Coti being overbought on the shorter time frames. Overall, what this was, and I told you back then, probably just another lower high, as we also made a lower low back then. This was in the end really just another lower high, and we were pretty much turned around after that video. So we did turn around, retested again here this support level at 27 cents, came up again, double top, basically an M pattern, yeah, quite bearish actually, and since then we've been moving down. In that video I told you that because we were overbought and with my expectation for another Bitcoin sell-off, that we would probably see once more the 20 or 21 cent level, and today we have reached that. But I also told you that we could potentially even drop once lower to the 88.7% Fibonacci retracement level, and this one is sitting at 15 cents. Now, I think that is actually fairly likely, given that we've already dropped. You can see that here, even though it was only briefly, but we've made a lower low today compared to the previous one. Yeah, we've made a lower low and also a lower high. That is not a good sign for Coti. I mean, it plays out in terms of my price expectation, but I'm quite surprised how strong actually Coti is moving down here, and it makes me wonder, am I actually bearish enough? I hope so, because a drop down to 8, or the alternative would then be that we're actually dropping down to 8.8 cents, yeah, which is basically when this whole wave started, all right? Yeah, so this is the target area we talked about. After the all-time high here that Coti did, we are moving down here in a correction. And the target for that correction, like for many other cryptos, is really just here, this target area between the 88.7% Fibonacci retracement level and the 78.6 level. And this is sitting between a price range of 15 cents and 21. We had it actually starting a little bit higher, the target area. I think that was because Coti looked actually quite strong up here. And what it needed to do, certainly, was it needed to move below the wave A. So in this type of an ABC correction that we've got here, as per the edit wave method, the price needs ideally to make a lower low and move below the wave A. Now it did that. I did put my target area directly below the wave A, yeah, you can see that we obviously already went into it. We hit that 0.786 Fib level here end of January, then a last attempt to move higher, being overbought, not a good sign, and then we moved down and made actually a lower low, which actually indicates to me, especially looking at how the price is coming down here, because it is quite strong. It's not like the selling momentum has decreased, it's actually quite strong, that move down here, which makes now Coti oversold again. But yeah, it makes me wonder if we can actually move down to 15 cents and hope, I mean, maybe even lower, yeah, maybe even lower. I don't actually hope so, because it would just extend the whole correction. But I think what we can see here on the chart is now a descending wedge is forming. So we've got here various touch points here, 1, 2, 3 at least, yeah. And on the upper side as well. And the descending wedge could lead us to conclude that we could get close to the completion of the correction. But we could obviously move all the way down to the end of that wedge. And that would, the apex here would hit the 88.7% Fibonacci level at 15 cents, okay. We are still below the 50-day moving average, still below the 200-day moving average. Couldn't hold this ascending trend line. Yeah, end of January we broke above that trend line, couldn't hold it. So it's not really relevant any longer. And now we're in this descending wedge. So overall, we're already in the area where I would say, right, the correction could be finished, because these are the Fibonacci levels where I think the correction should be finished, or where historically corrections of altcoins are oftentimes finished, yeah. So that is a typical area for a wave 2 retracement, in which we currently are, in my view, similar to Bitcoin, similar wave count, and there we could turn around at any point. But to do that, we need to break this descending trend line first, and to get confirmation, I would really want to move above these previous highs here at 40 cents. Yeah, if we break above 40, we can be more certain that the downtrend is over. Now, anybody who wants to wait for that will probably lose some potential profits from down here. But on the other hand, you need to decide, do you want to catch a falling knife or do you want to wait for a confirmed uptrend? So either way, you know, it doesn't make a great difference. On the 8-hour chart, as I said, oversold, yeah, indicating the price could now move up a little bit higher. On the daily chart, also nearly oversold. I mean, to be fair, Coti in its whole history only got a few times actually really into the oversold zone below 30. It oftentimes stopped above 30, so around 33, and we pretty much are at 34 at the moment. So shows you that there isn't that much more downside potential, especially if you compare it to the history. The MACD, however, is pointing further to the downside. Yeah, so a bullish cross on the MACD was stopped here on the 16th of February, and since then we have been moving down, also probably fueling this sell-off. So yeah, basically target area was reached. Currently cannot see here any sort of bullish divergence. The only bullishness I can currently see here in the chart is that we are in a descending wedge, which could show us that we get closer to the completion of the correction, but it's a bit too early to say that. I mean, back here when we had the pump earlier, was that 2021 here? Yeah, you also finished this correction with a descending wedge, so it looks fairly similar actually. What we might see, I mean, if you look at that, if I draw just two lines here, you can also see that this was also a descending wedge, yeah, before we started the new uptrend. That gives a few people probably a little bit of hope now. So it looks similar. You end basically your correction with a descending wedge, similar what we do here. And you can see that after this move, yeah, this last attempt to push higher where it failed, you see something similar here now, okay? And what we now might need to do is one more leg like that, okay? That could push us right into the end of that apex, when you could then start, possibly down here at the 88.7% fib level, a slight uptrend again. Now it needs to be seen how the price reacts to that descending wedge. But what we saw back here, you could see it basically hit quite a significant low, and then you saw only green candles pretty much, yeah. Only a few red candles, yes, but then we moved above all these previous highs, broke the 50-day moving average with ease, broke the 200-day moving average. When the price broke the 200, that was it. That kicked it really off, right? So watch out for that in the next uptrend. Coti, I think, if you like the project at the moment, for me, at a very attractive price level already. Yeah, I don't think we've seen the low yet. All right, hopefully you liked the update about Coti. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And yeah, if you really like the content, maybe consider to join as a channel member. You can do that on YouTube or here on my website. And for that, you can find a link in the description. Then you can get access to Discord, Telegram, and a weekly live stream. Thanks a lot for watching and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.